Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be battling out L'Oreal bronzers. So I picked up two different bronzers from CVS specifically. So I have the Infallible Fresh Wear bronzer in the shade, oh no, did I remove the shade on accident? Dang it. Oh wait, no, I have it in 300 light medium. So looks like this. And then I also have the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer, and this is in the shade 2 mediums. First things first, by the way, if you are purchasing drugstore makeup and you're purchasing it from CVS, please make sure that you are taking advantage of CVS's extra bucks and all of their different rewards that they have, because you can save mucho monies by doing that. And every single time that I shop at CVS, like I'm shopping for those deals. And the reason why I picked up both of these bronzers at CVS and decided to film this video is literally because they had like a sale going on and I had extra bucks. So I was like, this is a good deal. So yeah, let's go ahead and battle it out. Now, obviously these two bronzers are going to be different. One of them is more of a soft matte finish, so that's the Infallible line. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you know that the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, Pro Glow foundations are like my favorite. They're so good. Every single time someone asks me for a drugstore foundation recommendation, I'm like, yeah, L'Oreal Infallible is definitely what I would recommend day in and day out. So I wanted to try out their bronzer because, I don't know, a bronzer that is waterproof like sounds real freaking good to me. But I wanted to compare it to the Lumi bronzer because I've heard such amazing things about this bronzer. My sister also really loves it. She says that it just gives you like this beautiful shine and glow to the skin. And so obviously they're going to be slightly different in application. I don't expect them to look the same on my face, but what we're going to do is we're going to test it out this week and see ultimately which one I like more or how I would recommend it to you guys. So let's go ahead and get to applying. The way that we're going to test this out today is we are going to use the same kind of brush to make sure that we're not fussing around with different tools. So we're using the LOREAL brush. This is the LR342 contour blending brush. I have this in something's wrong with my voice. I have this in two different packaging colors as well, so that way I know which brush goes with which bronzer. Let's go ahead and get started on the right side. Currently I have nothing on my face in terms of complexion products for like colors, so I don't have any bronzer, blush, or highlight on. I just have foundation, and then what I did add on was a light layer of translucent powder just so that the powders would blend nicely on top of my skin. So starting with the L'Oreal Fresh Wear. All right, so packaging wise, it opens this way. By the way, it does also come with a mirror on the bottom, so that's actually pretty cool packaging. I was about to ding it for being so like bulky. I was like, what? Well, this is highly unnecessary, but now that I know it comes with a mirror, I'm like, all right, fine. Grabbing it with the brush here. Hopefully this is the correct shade. I think it'll show up just fine on my skin. Definitely a matte bronzer. We are going to pack this on just because I'm very curious. And again, for my bronzer, I like to apply it kind of a little bit higher on my face. This shade is kind of showing up. Probably should have bought a deeper shade, but I remember looking at CVS and I was like, the deeper shade goes too red, so I'm okay with just kind of building this up. I will say it's gliding on really smoothly. Yes, I can really see it now. And I'm really packing it on also just for camera purposes so that you guys can see it too. But let's be honest, I love a heavy bronzer, so who am I kidding? Wow, it looks good. Very smooth. Blended really well on top of the foundation and the translucent powder. Yep, just giving it a second to focus here. Yeah, it looks good. Didn't emphasize texture. I wouldn't expect bronzer to emphasize texture. Generally speaking, if I have a bronzer and it's emphasizing my pores, we have a problem. But this went on very silky smooth. Reminds me a lot of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the way that it applied. I would say that the Butter Bronzer probably has a little bit more of like a natural kind of a finish to it. This is definitely quite a bit more matte, but might be very appropriate for fall. So I like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to the other side, and we are now going to try the True Match Lumi Bronze It. I love the packaging of this. I just love like how huge it is. By the way, product wise, the Lumi Bronzit has 0.41 ounces, and then the Infallible one has 0.31 ounces. So obviously quite a bit more product in here. Taking my brush, dipping in here. There's less kick up on this one. That's what I'm noticing for sure. Ooh, that's also pretty nice. I'm gonna keep piling it on here. Again, with some of these lighter bronzer shades, you can pack the pigmentation on if you're kind of looking, if you're like more in your summer skin tone, right? Like I'm pretty tan right now. So for me, if I buy bronzers that are more like appropriate for winter, I'll just pack on several more layers of bronzer to kind of get that impact. But this is also blending really nicely onto the skin. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare both sides of my face. I have to be honest, I don't know if I see a huge difference. So let me see here. Okay, one thing I will say, and I'm gonna ask for a zoom here because I want to see if we can really like get in there and like see if you can see if there's a little bit of a glow. So as I move my face around, hopefully it's coming up on the camera and it's showing you. But on the Lumi side, as I move my face around, I can definitely see just a tiny little bit of a glow peeking through right here. As I move my face around, it just kind of shows through. The one thing that I like about this though, is that it has not emphasized my pores. I was very nervous about the Lumi bronzer because every single time I see a bronzer that's like luminous, I'm like, equals pores? For example, the Makeup by Mario Skin Perfecting Powder that also has a little bit of glow in it, like that stuff emphasized the shit out of my pores. And I was like, this stuff sucks. So I was kind of expecting the same thing for this bronzer, but I'm actually noticing, I don't have any of those issues kind of peeking through here. Like everything still looks very smooth. And it just looks very like luminous. It's very beautiful. Now on this side, obviously I do have, it's quite a bit more flat, a little bit more matte, but again, it's still very smooth. Obviously, like I don't have perfect skin, I have texture and you can definitely see that on my face, but it hasn't emphasized it in a way that I find like it's appalling or anything like that. So both of these actually have really kind of sunk into the skin really well. I'm gonna hold my mirror a little bit further away too to just see. I actually think, oh my gosh, this is very surprising to me because I did not think that this was gonna happen. I think I actually like the Lumi side more than the flat side. I like it a lot more. It just looks a little bit more lifelike, a little bit more natural in a way. Like it's part of my skin, whereas this one I'm like, yeah, you're wearing bronzer. But it could be also because I added a little bit more just to kind of get that pigmentation to show. Okay, so first impressions wise, this is definitely the winner, right? Just looking at the way that it's on my skin right now. I'm actually not even gonna put on blush or highlight because I just want to see how this bronzer wears throughout the day. This is not bad though. It's not to say that this is a bad bronzer or anything. Now, you guys know when I test out products, I test things out super hardcore. Like I work out with my makeup on just solely for the purpose of, well, I'm super lazy, so I don't feel like taking my makeup off before I work out, which like, I'm sure every like esthetician out there in the world is like screaming like if they hear that. But so I don't take my makeup off, which means that I get to test if a makeup is truly gonna stay on my skin even through like the worst conditions, and it is super hot this week. So I will be back at the end of this week with my final thoughts on which of these bronzers I would truly recommend to you, because honestly, if the Infallible has a better wear time than the Lumi, it might edge out the Lumi, even though I like the finish of the Lumi a little bit more than the Infallible side. But honestly, both sides look pretty good. So yeah, that concludes this part of the first impressions. Let's get to testing. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey everyone, welcome back. It is now Sunday, so I can give you my final thoughts on who won the battle between the L'Oreal bronzers. This time around, there was no clear winner. So interestingly enough, the last time I did a battle between Laura Mercier and Bobbi Brown, I had like a very, very clear winner as to who won in that product category. In this case, I don't really have a winner, but I do feel like both of these bronzers are quality bronzers from L'Oreal. The thing is though, I do think that they have different applications, obviously, because they are meant to do different things, but here's how I would recommend using them. If you are going for a very natural, bronzy look to the skin. Let's say, for example, you're wearing a tinted moisturizer, you want to look a little bit more glowy, you're just going for a very soft, ethereal makeup look, then I would definitely go with the L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It. It just has a really beautiful sheen to it. This one is really going to give you more of just that kind of like, oh, she's very naturally bronzed. It's, you know, just gorgeous. She's been out kind of in the sun, maybe like a springtime bronzer. This is really nice for something like that. I do think for the staying power, this one isn't as good as the Infallible Fresh Wear one, but it's not too bad. I do think that it stayed on for the most part. Obviously would recommend setting it down with a setting spray. Now for the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer, this is what I would wear if I am doing something that is quite a bit more of a dramatic look. So if I'm trying to go like full glam and I want everyone to know that I have chiseled cheekbones and that I am wearing a bronzer that is gonna stay on all day long, even if I'm dancing through the night or whatever it is that you plan on doing, or if it's like a super hot summer day, I don't know, pick your sweaty event here, then I would recommend going with this bronzer. Even though it says that it is a soft matte finish, this actually doesn't look dead on your skin, right? So when you're using matte bronzers, I think for me particularly, a huge fear is that the bronzer is just gonna make me look like it's just like this, like dead shadow kind of on my face, particularly if I'm using it as like a bronzer, if that makes sense, like bronzer and contour all at the same time. But for me, I think this added a really, really nice dimension to my skin. I don't feel like it was like one of those dead bronzers at all. I actually thought I did a really, really nice job. Would recommend. So between the two of these, I found myself reaching for the Infallible just a little bit more, only because it is summer right now and I wanted something that was going to stay on my skin a little bit more. And so in the mornings when I was thinking about what I was going to do for the rest of the day, I would tend to gravitate towards this one. But I think this is going to be gorgeous in the winter and I can't wait to use this one then, because I just think it's going to be awesome, because it's going to give me that very soft bronzer versus like a heavy contour, if that makes sense. So all in all, this battle was, I don't know, I think it was successful in that I like both of these products, so I really like that, but there wasn't really a true winner here. I do hope that my final analysis though of when I would use these bronzers was helpful, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found this video helpful and you liked it, please feel free to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Me for a drugstore foundation.
Was it because that's your good side?
No, I don't have a good side. Do I have a good side? What's my good side? What's my good side?
One side.
Oh, okay.